Hello. So I am so sorry I couldn't do Paper Jam this past weekend. I was at the Cheltenham Science Fair, which I have to say fed the science part of my soul in a way that I have missed. I have missed that. So I promised you a different video instead. And what I thought I would do was answer all the rest of the advice that was asked of me in my Be My Guest show that I didn't get to. So if you haven't seen Be My Guest, go see that. That's another post. It's a new show format that I've got where it's my new talk show. Basically, it's my new talk show. And every lineup is just an amazing lineup of people to talk about. Just go and watch it. Go and watch it. But at the end of it, I do autistic advice. So this is autistic advice. Dear Aunt Autie. Dear Autie? Dear Autie Ria. We'll come, you know what? Insert best title below. But dear Aunt Autie. So let's see what we have. Now, if you don't know me, I am autistic. I am very much a fan of logic, ration, sensibility over emotion. And so all of this, by the way, like asterisks, take with a pinch of salt, / don't try this at home, / remember I am not a therapeutic professional. I think I have to say all those things. But honestly, if your therapist isn't working for you, give me a go. So let's see. I haven't read any of these either. I've been carrying them around with me for a while, just sort of waiting to do this video. And I'm quite excited to see what stuff there is. So let's see what the first one is. They're all anonymous, unless they sign their name, but they're all anonymous. So let's see. Found out last night that someone I know has just split with her husband. Should I hit on her now or give her space to process first? P.S. Much younger than me too. Wow, this is a doozy. Oh my God, I absolutely love this one. First of all, like, kudos to you. I'm assuming you are a man since she split up with her husband, so therefore you are a man trying to move in on that situation. So well done you for making this about yourself. Not, hey, she just split up with her husband. Should I comfort her? Should I ask her if she needs anything? Should I support her in any way? Just, how can I hit that? Is it too soon to hit that? I mean, okay, listen, here's the thing. Here's the truth about men and women when they split up. Men tend to physically leave, then emotionally process leaving, whereas women tend to emotionally process, then physically leave. I'll explain that. What that means is that when a woman starts to notice that things are going wrong in the relationship, she will try and make it work. She will figure out an escape route. She will basically plan everything, including her own emotional piece, before she finally pulls the trigger and goes, this is it, it's over. And again, these are just generalizations based on research. It's not the same for everybody. Whereas with men tend to go, oh, I don't like this anymore, and leave, and then afterwards get over leaving. It's often why men rebound faster. It's why women don't necessarily, unless they're leaving for somebody else, they don't always leave for somebody else. But what I would say overall, dude, is that you sound like a bit of a douche, and she probably would be better off not with you. I'm sorry, that's the truth of it. So is she ready? Is she ready to be hit upon by another guy? Yes. Should you do it? I don't know. I'm not convinced. Good luck. You know what? If that's you, let me know. Let me know how that went. All right, here we go. Number 2. How can I murder my wife? Well, I mean, this is very open-ended. Again, I'm assuming this was written by a man. How can I murder my wife? Because there's no thought in it. Not like, how can I murder her and get away with it? How can I murder my wife? Are you literally asking me for a how-to? Because, I mean, I would just say, watch a series of CSI. Do you remember CSI? Watch a series of what's a murder? What's a thing where someone gets murdered every week? What's a show like that? Anyway, I mean, how can I murder my, well, you just do it. But I'm not promising that you won't get caught and incarcerated for it. I mean, how can I murder my wife and get away with it? I mean, say what you mean. AI has come for my job. What should I do? Become a plumber. And I'm serious, become a plumber. There's a few jobs that AI can't replace, and that's electricians, plumbers, anything in construction, anything, carpentry, all of these things AI can't do. So simple as suck it to the man, show Skynet that they can't have you be a plumber. I'm married, but I think I'm in love with someone else. Nothing has happened and ever will. Would you stay? Hang on. Is this the same person that found out last night someone they know split with her husband? No, different handwriting. I'm married, but I think I'm in love with someone else. Nothing has happened and ever will. Would you stay? No. That's not fair to your partner. Like, you, even if you're not in love with the person you're with, if you love them at all, that's not fair, is it? Or, do a little check-in. Maybe they're not in love with you either, and you can have all the benefits of staying married and yet a bit of an open relationship. There are options here. Maybe you could both go on field and play around. But is the other person you're in love with you? Or are you just telling me that you're in love with someone else, i.e. you are no longer emotionally invested in your relationship? But yeah, only stay if they know. If your partner doesn't know and they think they're still in love with you, you got to go. You got to tell them, I'm sorry. You got to tell them. I mean, what is it with not telling people? Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth and suffer the consequences. Everyone's like, I have a right to my feelings. Well, then own them. Be honest about it. Okay. How do you feel about sleep divorce, i.e. when a married couple share different bedrooms to improve sleep quality? 100%. Nobody sleeps better with somebody else in the bed. Just fact. Everybody sleeps better alone. Some people think they sleep better with the other person there, after 50 years of being with the other person. It's all about emotional comfort and the rest of it. And if you're lucky and you both sleep like a log and nobody's a duvet hog, then maybe it works out. By the way, if your partner isn't happy with sleep divorce, just get 2 separate duvets. It makes such a difference. But 100% sleep divorce. In fact, I don't understand. Answer me this, okay? As a kid, I had my own room. I had my own space. It was recognized that I needed my own space. Then suddenly I get up, I get married, and suddenly we're supposed to share a bedroom? What's that about? I want my own space. Why should I have to suddenly be half a person because I got married? And these are the truths of marriage. 100% sleep divorce, everybody should do it. Marriages would last longer. I just honestly guarantee it. Also, always have sex in his bed so he can deal with the mess. Just saying. Which is the best dating app for comedy material? Well, no. Which is the best dating app for comedy material? No. If you want to be a comic, you find material wherever you are. Stop looking for material to slap you in the face and start being a proper, if you're looking around for external reasons to find comedy, if you're going, well, I think Hinge is better for comedy than Field, then you're not a comic, okay? Give it up. Become a plumber. What's the best thing my son could do who is a gardener? What's the best thing my son could do who is a gardener? I mean, I think he's nailing it. I think he needs to, maybe he could move to the country where there are gardens. That would be my instinct, is to go somewhere where there are gardening needs. So if your son is a gardener, again, in the middle of a city, he might not be making as much money as if he moves to Kent, the Garden of England. I guess that's the question. Like, was there more to it than that? Like, garden is good. AI can't take your gardening job. I think he's in a good position. How do I help my autistic 18-year-old daughter move on from past situations or issue that she found upsetting? Okay. Great question. How do I help my autistic 18-year-old daughter move on from past situations or issues that she found upsetting? This is one of my mantras as an autistic. I think it is so important. And this is the phrase, it is what it is. All right. When we go through life, you have to think about what it is that you can change. Every situation, you have to go, what can I do about this? What can I change? If it is in the past and it can no longer be changed, then it is a waste. It is an absolute illogical waste of energy to spend any time emotionally upset about that. Unless through that emotion, you can make a change for the better. So this is how we should all approach life. If you don't like something, what can I do about it? What can I control and what can I not control? And you are allowed to be upset about what you can do, but you are not allowed to be upset about the things that you cannot affect. And that applies on all scales. If you had a fight with a friend and their actions upset you, all you can do is apologize. All you can do is approach and say what you want to say, but you cannot make them apologize and you cannot change their mind or make them less upset. All you can do is go, what would make me feel at peace and have closure in this situation? I'm going to go and I'm going to apologize, or I'm going to shut the book on that relationship and move on and not expect phone calls and just go, all right, I guess that relationship is dead. You can only be upset about what you can affect. And the same applies on a massive scale, the planet. What can I do realistically within my life to help the planet? And if the answer is simply, I can recycle more, then that's what you do. But you don't sit there upset and do nothing. And you also do not get upset when you can do nothing. It is what it is. And that's what she needs to learn. My friend is trying to change jobs because their supervisor keeps making sexist remarks, but they still need a reference letter from the supervisor. How can they minimize contact but encourage a positive letter? No. HR. What is this? My friend is trying to change jobs because their supervisor keeps making sexist remarks. You keep a diary. You note down everything that person says and you take that evidence to HR. This person should not be in a position of power in any way, shape, or form. Why are they not working with HR? I need more info on this. If this is you, I want you to come back to me and tell me why it is. How can they minimize contact but encourage a positive letter? No. What are they? No. That's like going, how can you bend over backwards in order to get what you are rightfully owed without bending over backwards? Absolutely not. First of all, your friend needs to value themselves more and your friend needs to get angry. That supervisor needs to be fired or at least investigated. So I want to hear diaries. I want to hear that recordings are being made. I don't want them to be one-on-one with that supervisor without a witness. And if there are other witnesses, then all of these statements need to be gathered. This needs to be dealt with. But to just sit there and go, oh, I don't like what he's doing, so I'm going to leave. Oh, but I need him to help me leave. Screw you, because you are basically going, this is a problem situation. And rather than helping and sorting it out so that no one else has to suffer, I'm just going to remove myself and let everyone else continue to suffer the problem. Sort that problem out. Be the solution. Stop just running away from the problem. To your friend. My colleague always leaves work early. What should I say or do? Oh, you see, I do love a bit of passive aggression. Okay, so we got the supervisor who needs to be reported to HR. But what we also have is my colleague always leaves work early. What should I say or do? I think you should comment on it. Again, HR is your friend. They never are, but they are. HR is your friend. You need to start clocking it. You either, if you're on an equal level and they start leaving early, then you need to start leaving early until somebody else goes, why is everyone leaving early? And you go, oh, well, Rebecca was leaving early. I thought we were all leaving early. And one of those delicious situations where you just make it known to everybody. You either start leaving early, you start showing up late, and then you just go, well, Rebecca does it. Why can't I do it? Why is she allowed to do it, but I'm not allowed to do it? If you're on an equal level, that's what you do. You play down to the lowest common denominator until somebody points it out. All right? That's how you highlight it. And then you send me a little cheeky video of that. Oh, that's the bit in the movie that we all love. We love that bit in the movie where the person who's doing the wrong thing gets their comeuppance. Send me a little video. Send it to me. All right. My friend would like her boyfriend to spend more time with her, but football is his first love. What should she do? Dump his ass. Dump his ass. Right? If football is his first love, it sounds like he's emotionally stunted, okay? She's never gonna, do not make babies with that man. Do not buy a house with that man. Get out, all right? You have to remember, and I say this to all heterosexual women, okay? We are heterosexual. It is not our finest feature, but if we didn't exist, humanity wouldn't survive, okay? But the truth is that you still have to value yourself as a woman, okay? And every man that you come across as a potential partner, it's not will he do? It's will he make my life better than I make my life by myself? You aren't competing with every other man to be with me. You are competing with me to be with me, because when I'm by myself, I am a fantastic date. I am a fantastic flatmate. I am a fantastic business partner. And if you want to come into my life and you want me to make room for you and to compromise for you, you better be worth it. And ladies, you need to start valuing yourself as your best life partner and stop going, oh, but I just want to be with someone. No, because that's when we start to settle. Men are never going to up their game as long as we're settling. There's some good men out there, by the way. Can I just say there's some fantastic men out there? Absolutely fantastic. Usually gay or married. They're always taken. Every time I see a good man, I go, oh, he's a good man. Of course he's taken. Of course some fantastic woman has snapped him up. All right? And that's the way it should be. And I'm happy for all of them. I feel like a pair of curtains. What should I do? Ha! Da-dang-dang. Pull yourself together, man. How do I react when a comedian asks me something? I assume this means that when you're sitting in the audience and they're on stage, I would engage with the conversation. All right. Now, I say this with a caveat because I am well aware that there are various styles of audience interaction. And those of you who've seen me do it, well, many people will have seen my videos online, and my videos online, one must remember, is a snapshot of an entire show. I hope, and please back me up in the comments on this if you know my work. If you've seen me do an entire show in terms of how I interact with people, it is very much on a case-by-case basis. And the idea is not to make anybody in the audience feel like they are less than or that they don't deserve to have as good a time as everybody else, but it is a feel. I've talked to people that you can tell are terrified. I have talked to people who are like, please don't talk to me. They don't want it. They don't want the attention. They're scared of being made fun of. They're scared of the ridicule. And in those situations, my job is not to pick on them, but to make them feel safe. Now, sometimes that can be having a very sweet conversation, lifting them up in whatever. Sometimes I say to people, what do you do? And their first response is, oh, it's boring. Oh, it's nothing. And I'm like, no, it's not nothing. Of course it's not nothing. You are somebody, you are worth something. What do you do? That is a great job. My job is to lift. Everybody should feel lifted by the end of a show, unless you're an arrogant twat. Every so often you get either a drunk or an arrogant twat who sits there and goes, well, I'm the funniest thing in the business. And I'll tell you what they look like. Their legs are spread this wide because they think their teeny tiny little balls need air. And they're spread this wide, and they've probably got an arm over here, and they've got a pint in the other hand. And they think, and they're like, oh, I'm funnier than this chick. I'll take her down. In which case, yeah, I'm going to take you down, because there is no way that you think faster than me or rarely, if ever. I don't know if I've ever met anyone who's more educated than I'm. In that case, I am taking you down. But otherwise, it's always about joy. It's always about having a bit of fun. It's always about never pushing anyone further than they're comfortable with, and watching those signals and making sure that they are happy in that conversation. There are times where I've spoken to person A and they're clearly so terrified. I'm like, would you rather I speak to person B? And they're like, yes, please. I'm like, fine, we will speak to person B. Because I tell you what, the number of times that I come across couples on the front row where one of them is dying to sit in the front row and the other one is terrified to sit in the front row. And I go, understood. You did not want to be here. I will speak to the person who did want to be here, because that's what they came here for, and I will not put the focus on you. And again, if you've watched my work, you will see I very often will say at the end of a section when I speak to someone, please give them a round of applause. And that is because they have become a part of the show and therefore deserve to be appreciated for their contribution as much as anybody else. So, but I know that there are comedians that will get on stage and believe that the job is to belittle, or the job is to maintain power or to maintain status. And that can be terrifying. And I do appreciate that. But I would say if a comedian asks you something, go straight. Don't try. If you lie, they will pick up on that. If you try and make something up, they will pick on that. If you try and joke back again as in if they ask you what you do and you go, I'm a gynecologist, which is a common jokey answer that we get from laddie lads. They will tear you down. But the best thing to do is to be honest about it and be very straight, because actually, if they can't get anything out of you, if you go, my name is Jim, I'm a manager. If they can't do anything about it, they should move on. And if they don't move on and they keep hammering you with loads and loads of questions, they're a shit comedian. You are a great audience member, but they are a shit comedian. Last one. Are we ready? Last one. I didn't put these in any order, so let's see. Fruit phobia. Where do I go with that? Fruit phobia. You're scared of fruit. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I'm going to take that as straight rather than a joke, because I mean, the curtains one I know is a joke. Fruit phobia. Where do I go? Is there a common joke answer to that? I'm scared of fruit. Where do I go? Go bananas. Fruit. Where do I go with that? Go bananas. Go nuts. Go nuts. Go. Where do I go with that? If that's a joke, then there you go. My answer is go bananas. Go nuts. If you're genuinely scared of fruit, can I suggest vegetables? I'm assuming it's because of the texture, the taste. Maybe it's because they have multiple seeds. I know that can be a phobia. There are plenty of other ways to get your vitamins in. To get your vitamins in. I am quite sure that you can live a long, healthy, happy life by, getting things from beetroot and kale and all the stuff that the rest of us would rather eat apples instead of. But if you're scared of like raw fruit, then go with cooked fruit, applesauce, orange juice. Is this a joke? It feels like a joke, fruit phobia. But if it isn't, that's my suggestion. Or go with something like tomatoes and cucumbers, which are technically fruit, but everyone thinks of them as vegetables. Maybe they're your gateway. Maybe that's your gateway into starting with fruits that everyone thinks are vegetables. Anyway, that is Ask Auntie Ria, Ask Autism, Ask Autism. Shall we call it that? Ask Autism. That is my video. That is the kind of advice I give. There's no sugarcoating that. There's no sugarcoating that. There is no sofa in my therapeutic office. You can stand while I give you your advice, and then you can leave, because I don't know how to end this. Thanks for watching. Bye.